I'll never forget the moment my career took a sharp, unexpected turn. It was a crisp autumn morning, the kind where the Minnesota air carries a hint of frost, and I was sitting at my desk in the cozy nook of my home office. The scent of freshly brewed coffee lingered as I sipped from my favorite mug, a gift from James years ago with a silly tech pun etched on the side. My laptop chimed with a last-minute meeting invite, the subject line reading simply "Team Update." My stomach twisted as I scanned the names attached. Sarah Mitchell, my new team lead, and Emily from our. I clicked into the Zoom call, and Sarah's face filled the screen, her expression cool and detached, almost rehearsed. "Laura," she began, her voice flat and devoid of warmth, "after 16 years, your expertise no longer aligns with our strategic goals. Your access to Crestview systems ends today." I felt a jolt, but I forced a smile, the kind I'd honed over years of navigating corporate storms. "I understand," I replied, my tone steady despite the chaos brewing inside. Sarah's shoulders relaxed slightly, as if she'd braced for a confrontation and was relieved to avoid it. Emily, who had been a silent shadow until now, chimed in with the practiced neutrality of someone who'd delivered this speech too many times. "We'll need your laptop shipped back by Wednesday. I'll send the shipping details and exit paperwork." I nodded, keeping my composure. "Anything else you need from me?" Sarah shook her head briskly. "That's all, Laura. Thank you for your service." The call ended with a click, and I was left staring at a blank screen, the silence deafening. 16 years at Crestview Solutions in Minneapolis, a career I'd poured my heart into, gone in under 5 minutes. What Sarah didn't know, what no one at Crestview knew, was that I'd already signed a contract with Steelridge Innovations, their fiercest competitor, to start as Director of Operations the following Monday. 3 weeks earlier, Michael Carter, Steelridge's CEO, had reached out after hearing whispers of the upheaval at Crestview. We'd crossed paths at industry conferences over the years, sharing drinks or debating trends during panel discussions. I remembered one late-night chat in Denver where we'd laughed about the quirks of our respective companies. "Laura," he'd said over coffee in his office a few weeks ago, his tone earnest, "Crestview's making a colossal mistake if they're pushing you out. We've always admired your operational brilliance. We need someone with your vision and experience." The offer came a week later. A substantial salary increase, a director's title, and the freedom to shape my own team. I'd signed the contract the day before Sarah's call, a quiet victory sealed with a flourish of my pen. I closed my laptop, the weight of the moment settling in, and checked my phone. 2 texts had arrived during the meeting. The first was from James, my rock of 16 years, "How'd it go? Call me when you're free." The second was from Michael, "Office prepped for Monday. Team's excited to meet you. This is the start of something great." I smiled to myself, a flicker of anticipation cutting through the shock. Sarah thought she'd cut me loose, but she'd unwittingly handed me the keys to a new chapter. I could almost picture her smug satisfaction evaporating when she learned the truth. James and I met 16 years ago at a tech summit in Chicago, a whirlwind weekend that changed my life. I was there representing my old employer, a mid-sized firm in St. Paul, and he was presenting a session on cybersecurity, his passion shining through every slide. We connected over bad conference coffee during a break, trading stories about the industry's absurdities. The conversation flowed effortlessly, stretching into the evening, and 6 months later, we were married in a small ceremony by Lake Minnetonka. I accepted Crestview's offer to move to Minneapolis and build their operations department from scratch, a challenge that felt like a dream at the time. Those early years were exhilarating. Crestview was a lean, nimble outfit back then, hungry for innovation. I had the freedom to experiment, to craft efficient systems, to lay the foundation for something meaningful. My team grew from just me, a lone wolf with a vision, to 25 talented professionals, a tight-knit crew managing the chaos of rapid expansion. Our former CEO, Richard Hayes, was my biggest cheerleader. A gruff man with a heart of gold, he'd clap me on the shoulder and say, "Without you, Laura, we'd be a ship without a rudder." I thrived under his trust, but Richard retired last year, and the tide turned. The board brought in Catherine Ellis, a hard-charging executive from a Silicon Valley giant, known for her aggressive growth strategies and a trail of disrupted companies. Catherine wasted no time reshaping Crestview in her image, installing her own people and sidelining veterans like me. Sarah Mitchell was her first big hire, a mid-30s dynamo with an impressive resume but little grasp of our industry's nuances. She was placed above me despite my tenure and deep institutional knowledge. "We need fresh perspectives," Catherine announced at an all-hands meeting, her voice echoing through the conference room as she introduced Sarah. New blood to take us to the next level. I tried to make it work. I shared my expertise, documented every process in exhaustive detail, and offered insights honed by years of experience. But Sarah dismissed my suggestions, excluded me from meetings where operations were debated, and made it clear she was staking her claim. The writing was on the wall, scribbled in bold strokes I couldn't ignore. The Zoom call wasn't a surprise, just a jolt in its abruptness. I'd expected at least the courtesy of a transition period, not a Friday afternoon guillotine. When I called James to break the news, his outrage was palpable. They did what? He exploded, his voice crackling through the phone. I laughed, the sound a release of tension. It's fine, really. Gives me the weekend to unwind before Steelridge. He wasn't convinced. You're taking this too well, he said, suspicion creeping into his tone. He knew me too well. My poker face was a thin veneer. I've had time to prepare mentally, I admitted. And maybe I'm savoring the thought that while Sarah thinks she's solved a problem, she's actually unleashed a storm for Crestview. James chuckled, the sound warming me. Remind me never to cross you. I teased back, too late. You ate the last slice of chocolate cake last weekend. That evening, I tackled my home office, a sanctuary cluttered with 16 years of Crestview memories. I sorted through stacks of notes and manuals, most destined for the shredder. I'd always been meticulous about not bringing confidential data home, but the habits of proprietary work had left a paper trail of instincts and insights. I paused over a faded photo of my original team, 5 of us crammed into Crestview's first real office, toasting our first major client win with cheap champagne. Richard stood in the center, his arm around my shoulders, pride etched on his weathered face. Of that group, I was the last holdout, the others having moved on years ago to new ventures or quieter lives. I wondered if any might be interested in joining me at Steelridge, their skills a potential bridge to my next chapter. My phone buzzed, pulling me from my reverie. A text from Rachel, a former mentee who'd left Crestview 6 months earlier when Catherine's purge began. Heard the news. Their loss. Drinks tomorrow? Maxwell's 7? I typed back, you're on. Got news to share. Rachel had flourished under my guidance, evolving from an eager but green college grad into a talented operations specialist. When she left, several clients had asked about her absence, a testament to her impact. I suspected Catherine and Sarah had underestimated her, just as they had me. Around midnight, an email from Emily in HR landed in my inbox, cold and impersonal. Laura, attached, please find your exit paperwork and instructions for returning company property. On behalf of Crestview Systems, we thank you for your years of dedicated service and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. The generic tone stung more than I cared to admit, reducing 16 years to a form letter. I shut down my computer and joined James, who was reading in bed, his brow furrowed over a thriller. You know, he said, looking up, I don't think I've ever seen you this calm after a major life shift. I slid under the covers beside him. That's because this isn't the end. It's the beginning. He persisted. You gave nearly 2 decades to Crestview. You built something there. It can't be easy to walk away. I sighed, acknowledging the truth. I'm not walking away from what I built. I'm taking the best parts with me, the knowledge, the experience, the relationships. Crestview may have decided they don't need me, but they'll soon feel the void. Their mistake is Steelridge's gain. He squeezed my hand. And mine, I added softly. I've outgrown Crestview. I just didn't see it until they forced me to. That night, I slept more soundly than I had in months, the weight of uncertainty lifting with each breath. The next evening, Maxwell's was pleasantly crowded, the hum of conversation a comforting backdrop. I spotted Rachel in our usual corner booth, 2 glasses of Pinot Noir already waiting. The latest casualty of Ellis's regime, she teased as I approached. Former casualty, I corrected, sliding into the booth. Current victor. Her eyebrow arched. Do tell. Do tell. I filled her in on my new role at Steelridge, watching her expression shift from sympathy to delight to a spark of awe. Director of Operations at Steelridge? Laura, that's brilliant, she exclaimed. I'd pay to see Sarah's face when she finds out. I shrugged, though a smile tugged at my lips. It's not about revenge. Rachel smirked, unconvinced. Of course not. It's about career growth and a company that values you. The revenge is just a bonus. I laughed. Maybe a small bonus. We clinked glasses, and Rachel leaned forward. What's your first move? I met her gaze. Building a team. Michael's given me latitude. And I've got someone in mind, you. She blinked. Me? Senior Operations Manager, reporting to you? 20% raise over your current gig, better benefits? I slid a folder across the table. Offers in there. Michael approved it yesterday. Rachel opened it, her eyes widening at the figures. This is generous, she said cautiously. It's what you're worth, I replied. Crestview underpaid you. She hesitated. Won't this look like poaching? I finished for her. It is, but you left Crestview months ago. I'm poaching from your new firm, Trevalent Corp. Take the weekend to decide, but I start Monday and want you with me. She closed the folder, tucking it into her bag. I've always wanted to work with you again. I'll call tomorrow. We spent the next hour catching up, her stories painting a grim picture of Crestview. Morale was plummeting. Longtime employees were polishing resumes, and clients were growing uneasy. The Whitmore accounts especially rattled, Rachel said. They've worked with you since the beginning and don't trust the transition. Whitmore Enterprises, Crestview's first major client, had a CEO, Elizabeth Whitmore, with whom I'd built a solid rapport over years of late-night strategy calls and holiday cards. I filed that away as we prepared to leave. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Laura. It's Elizabeth Whitmore. Heard about your exit from Crestview. Very concerning. Can we speak Monday? Important decisions ahead. I showed Rachel, who whistled softly. That didn't take long. I nodded. The weekend just got interesting. Monday morning arrived with a mix of nerves and anticipation. I dressed carefully, choosing a navy blazer and tailored slacks, confident but not flashy. This wasn't about proving a point, it was about stepping into a new role with grace. James kissed me goodbye at the door, his proud smile lingering. Go show them what Crestview's missing, he said. The Steelridge Innovations offices occupied the top 3 floors of a sleek downtown building, all glass and steel with panoramic views of Minneapolis. The receptionist greeted me by name. Director Thompson, welcome. Mr. Carter's waiting in the conference room. The title felt new, a badge I was still pinning on, but it fit. Michael met me with a warm handshake. Ready to meet your team? I nodded, following him into a large conference room where about 15 people were gathered, a diverse mix of experience levels and specialties. A well-constructed operations department in the making. Everyone, Michael announced, this is Laura Thompson, our new director of operations. Many of you know her by reputation. We're incredibly fortunate to have her joining us. The welcome was genuine, and then he added, we have one more addition today. Rachel walked in, looking slightly nervous but professionally composed. Rachel Lee, our new senior operations manager, reporting to Laura. I kept my expression neutral, though inside I was jubilant. Rachel had made her choice. After introductions, Michael gave us a tour, ending at my new office, a corner space with floor-to-ceiling windows and a connecting door to Rachel's smaller office. I'll leave you to settle, he said. Leadership meeting at 11 to discuss strategy. Oh, and Elizabeth Whitmore called. She wants to meet tomorrow. I nodded, unsurprised. I'll be prepared. Once he left, Rachel slipped in, closing the door. We're really doing this, she said, barely containing her excitement. We are, I confirmed. Thank you for joining me. She glanced around. Not a bad landing spot. Then she grew serious. You should know Crestview's in chaos. Your exit spread like wildfire Friday. The ops team's panicking, and Sarah doesn't grasp your systems. I raised an eyebrow. How do you know? She smirked. Friend still there. Like Mark in IT. Mark Evans, Crestview's IT director, had been with the company almost as long as me, a quiet ally through thick and thin. Is he looking to move? I asked carefully. Rachel shrugged. He didn't say, but he's fed up watching Catherine and Sarah dismantle what works. The leadership meeting at 11 introduced me to Steelridge's exec team, sharp, curious, and eager for my input. Michael asked, how do you handle client transitions from competitors? It was the perfect opening. It's about continuity, I began. Clients leave when they lose trust or stability. Our job is to prove we get their needs and deliver seamlessly. I laid out my strategy, personalized plans, dedicated teams, regular check-ins. We don't trash Crestview, I emphasized. We showcase our strengths. The team nodded, their approval a quiet boost. Back in my office, an email from Elizabeth Whitmore confirmed our meeting. Then my phone rang, Sarah Mitchell. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was strained. Laura, we need to discuss your operational knowledge. The documentation's unclear. Call me back. I deleted it. A text followed, this is unprofessional. Crestview needs your cooperation. I smirked. Sarah was learning the hard way. Rachel joined me later to review Steelridge's processes. She'd already spotted inefficiencies we could fix with Crestview tested tactics. We could boost efficiency by 20%, she said. I nodded. Draft a proposal for Michael by Friday. My phone buzzed again. Emily from Our. I ignored it. They're desperate, Rachel observed. They're realizing institutional knowledge isn't a download, I replied, especially when they didn't plan a handover. The calls kept coming, Sarah, Emily, and finally Catherine herself. Her text was revealing. Laura, we may have been hasty. Call to discuss options. Too late. By day's end, I'd outlined operational upgrades, scheduled team meetings, and prepped for Elizabeth. The next morning, she and her CTO, David Nguyen, met us. I'll be direct, Elizabeth said. Crestview's changes worry us. Your exit was the tipping point. David nodded. Your systems are vital. No one else gets them. Michael jumped in. Steelridge offers a smooth transition, with Laura leading. I promised continuity and enhancements I'd dreamed of at Crestview. After 2 hours, Elizabeth said, we'll review with legal, but I think we're aligned. Over the next 2 weeks, 3 more Crestview clients followed, citing distrust and faith in me. By week 3, we'd transitioned 30% of Crestview's revenue. Industry buzz grew. Steelridge soared. Crestview faltered. Sarah was demoted. The ops team floundered. In week 4, Mark Evans reached out. Over coffee, he said, Crestview's not the same. I'm out. I nodded. Steelridge could use you. Others too? He confirmed 6 were ready. Within a month, we'd hired Mark and 4 others, each a strategic gain. 6 months after my Zoom firing, Crestview announced a restructuring. Catherine resigned, Sarah was let go, and the company hemorrhaged talent. Michael dropped a newspaper on my desk. Crestview Systems faces overhaul as CEO exits. Congrats, he said. I shook my head. Not about revenge. He grinned. You're the best, and they were fools. Driving home, I reflected. From shock to triumph, I'd rebuilt my career at Steelridge. The revenge? A sweet footnote to a new beginning.